Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new to my craft room, then welcome. Today I want to do this little DIY project using these standing wooden house boxes is what they're called from Dollar Tree. You can find these in the Crafter Square section. They're really cute. It has like this little box in here that you can put things in. So I'm going to do this one here with this butterfly, and then they have one here with a star. And I thought these would be nice for the summer months here. This one I actually want to make to put in like little sugar packets or sweet and low packets. I'm gonna have to raise it up here somehow. I think I'm gonna put some like floral foam down on the bottom there. But I thought that would be so cute, just for you know, something different than the little container, plastic container that I have them in. I apologize if you guys can hear a lot of noise in the background. I tried to wait until they got some of this machinery shut down because we're still dealing with construction out here in our street, which has been absolutely horrible, but I know it's got to get done. It's just been like a year of it. Everybody's kind of over it. But anyway, I waited till he turned off the one machine that was pounding down the pavement to try to get something done. I'm having a hard time trying to get my videos done right now because it's just very difficult. Anyway, I did try to get a little video that I'll try to put that up Friday. But I'm going to do a little bit of decoupage on here and some paint. For this little guy here, I'm going to paint the roof brown. I'm just going to use this real brown paint. I'm probably just going to paint it on, rub it off, kind of like a stain kind of thing. And then this box part I'm going to paint with, whoops, I didn't have that on tight, did I? The Waverly chalk paint in the plaster color. I always like to paint the part I'm going to decoupage in with a bright color because it makes the napkin that you're using or whatever you're decoupaging on there, it just makes it stand out better. Now this back part here, I'm going to paint with this, what color are we calling this one? Lilac, home decor chalk paint. Thought that'd be real pretty because the napkin has a lot of pretty little different things. Now this napkin I believe I got from Temu a while ago, so I'm not sure if they still have these, but they have so many pretty ones there too if you want to check there, but you can check anywhere for pretty napkins. And then this one here I got that I'm going to use on the other one for the, I'm just using it on the front and the sides of the boxes. I'm going to use the star one that I got at Dollar Tree. So I got them last week, so I know they have all that stuff there. But like I said, this one I'm pretty sure, yeah, I know I got this from Temu. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be using. You can use whatever you want on here. You can just paint them, whatever you want to do. Now on this one, I think I might do a little arrangement inside. But anyway, let's get started here. The first thing I did was take a little piece of sandpaper and I sanded down any of the little rough spots that I could see. Here's the number of these little boxes. Because a lot of people ask me that when I do these. So you could just pause the video there if you need to get that number. But they're just called standing wood house box. But yeah, that's it. The bottoms I'm going to do, first I think I'll do the colored ones. I'm going to do the roof. Let's see how that's going to work out here. Let me get a paper towel. Because like I said, I'm just going to paint this on and rub that off real quick on the roof. There we go. And I'm not going to need a lot. I'm just going to take a little brush here. I'm not going to make you guys watch me paint all this because, you know, you guys know how to put paint on. But I'm just going to, I probably should have thought that through a little more. I'm going to actually pour some of this out in a container. I just wanted to show you really quick because like I said, I'll paint most of this off of camera because, you know, you guys know how to put paint on. All right, so, and then I'm just going to take my paper towel as soon as I put it on there and just rub it off. And then you have like this, you can still see the wood grain and stuff, and it makes it look like a nice stain. And you don't have to smell a stain or the drying time of stain. So yeah, in the back, I think I'm just going to paint the back all one color, roof and everything, because, you know, nobody's really going to see that anyway. So I'm going to finish staining this. I'm going to do the front of that. I don't know how I'm going to quite do the inside. We'll see. If I can just get a paintbrush in there close enough that I'm not, because I'm going to paint the background last. So I'm going to try to get this close, but maybe not super close. Let's see if that makes sense. So I don't get it on the, yeah, that's gonna work. Let's squeeze that, whoops, right in there if you guys can see that. Maybe I could even put some of this paint right on this paper towel and just kind of rub it on, or a cloth even. that might work better, so I don't have to really get a lot of it in there since I'm rubbing most of it off. Yeah, that would work. So there's an idea. Maybe I'll just use my paper towel to paint with here. All right, anyway, that's going to be the roof color. So I'll finish that up after. And then this lilac is so pretty. Let me just show you guys this color. I don't have a lot of it left either. I'm going to have to mix this up a little better too in a second here. But let's just, oh, it's so noisy outside. Let me just get some of this paint here. If I can just show you guys, it's pretty. And I'm only going to do one coat of this because it's just a nice color and it covers pretty well. But that's the color, that pretty lavender. And I figured that'll just go pretty with the flowers. So the inside of this and around the butterfly all down in here, I'm going to do with that lavender color. I think these guys are all coming back from the lunch break now. I can't win. And then, like I said, the box, I am just going to take one of my bigger brushes here, and we're going to use this plaster color, and then I'm just going to paint this whole box inside, outside with this nice plaster color. And actually, I may paint, this may be what I just use for the entire back, just to have it painted. And I want to get these edges and everything. And I'm just going to put one coat of this on too, because this is where the napkin is going to get decoupaged on here. But yeah, I love this plaster color. It's not like a white, it's more like a creamy white. It's very thick though. My paints are all very thick. I need to thin them out a little bit because some of them I've had for quite a while. But anyway, that'll be the color of the box. And then on this one, I'm going to do the box the same color. Where's my lid here? Let me set you guys aside for a second. We're going to do the box the same color. And then this background I'm going to do, I don't have any chalk paint in the blue that I want. So I'm going to use this primary blue. It's just Apple Barrel multi-surface satin paint. So that'll be fine because I'm probably going to end up putting some Mod Podge all over these things to kind of make it a little more glossy like the bottom's going to be. So we're going to use that for the background here, all back here. And then I'm going to take some of this red and then some of the plaster color. Of course, I'm going to do the box and the plaster. And then here, I'm probably going to do the plaster on the top and then maybe red on here. And then this will be blue. And I think that'll be really pretty. So I'm going to sit here and paint these up. And hopefully I can get this video done today. They're actually down the street a little bit right now. So fingers crossed that we can actually even get this done today. Because I've been trying all week to get something done and it's just been impossible when they were right outside the window here. But anyway, let me finish painting these up. You guys don't have to listen to all this noise. And once I get some paint on here, we'll be back and do the decoupage. Alright guys, I got these all painted, all the different colors I wanted. I did put some dots around here. I'm going to show you how I did that in a minute. But I did the white on the top and the red. I did use a piece of masking tape here just to kind of guide me across there so I didn't make too much of a mess with the two different colors. But let me show you here. I'm putting the dots around the butterfly too. So what I did was I took this embossing tool. You get these at Dollar Tree. It has a big end, little end. I'm using the smaller end. And then I'm just taking some of my paint in the lid and just dipping it in there and just making little dots. It's just that simple. So that's all I'm doing all the way around these. Oops, I don't have enough paint in my lid here, but I got enough to finish this here. There. So now that one's a small dot. Let's see if I can get that one a little bit bigger here. There we go. But yeah, just figured that would add just a little something else to that. All right, so I'm going to let that dry over there, and we're going to start working on this one here with our napkins. I'm going to start with the Dollar Tree napkin. Let me wipe off this thing here. And these are so easy. Just clean these off. You just wipe them off with a paper towel and you're good to go. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge. Look, my Mod Podge is all bubbly because it was almost empty and I'm like squeezing it out of here. I'm just going to put a light coat on here. And I cut out a strip of this. I figured it'd be easier to work with. And then you're going to take the 1 ply off of here. Which side did I get loose already? One side here. There we go. Because you want to get down to the 1 ply. And I'm going to put just a light coat of Mod Podge on here. Not too thick. Just enough to hold my napkin in place. Because I'm going to go over top of it afterwards. But I figure that's good enough just to get that stuck on there. So now I just got to figure out what part I want to use here. That's got like the most color in it. And I want to make sure it goes all the way up over my top pieces. I think that's good right there. Yep. All right. So we're just going to push that down. Try to smooth out any little wrinkles here. And then I'm just going to go on the sides here, put a light coat of Mod Podge here. And pull that down there on the side. Let that dry pretty much. And then just a little bit on here. And just to get that in place. There we go. All right. And I am going to cut this piece off here so I don't have so much hanging in the back. And I'm going to go around with a piece of sandpaper or a nail file when I'm done to get all these edges done. Oh, I don't want that stuck in there. Stick up. There we go. All right, so now I'm just going to go over the top of that. Little Mod Podge, make sure that's glued down nicely. And all my top edges there. It has those zigzaggy edges up there. And what can I hold on to? Here we go. This is such an easy little project to do. And like I said, depending on what napkins you want to use, you can, you know, make it for any time of the year or make them for all year, depending on whatever design you decide to use. All right, now that's gonna have to sit and dry. So let's see, I'm gonna plop you up on top of this paint can. All right, so now we got that one on there. See, easy peasy. Now this one we're gonna do with this pretty flowered one. I'm gonna do the same thing. Peel the layer off. You want to get down to your 1 layer of thing. Now I just want to figure out, I want to have at least one of the purple flowers right in the center there to make all of my, oh, it's got little berries on here and everything. All right, I think that'll fit there like that. All right, I think that's where I want it. All right, so let's get this down here. A little bit of Mod Podge. Put that in place. There we go. This is a much thicker napkin too. It's a lot easier to work with. All right, let me get my sides on here. Most of that off of there. Get that out of my way. And then over here, a little Mod Podge will do us. Alright. And then I'm actually going to go over all of this with a little bit of the Mod Podge just to give it, you know, a shine so it'll all matchy match. Alright, so now we're going to go over top of this one Make sure we get that good and stuck on there. And let me hold it up here. All right, so now that is all done. Just have to wait for this to dry, and then I'm just gonna go around and sand these edges off. Some people like to try to rip them off when they're still wet, but I've had some disasters with that. So I wait till it's dry and then just sand it off so I don't end up ripping anything I don't want ripped. I'm just making sure I get all the edges good. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna let that dry, and then when that's all done, I'm gonna go over the rest of that with some Mod Podge. Oh, look how pretty that is. The Mod Podge is starting to dry. I love this. It's gonna be so cute. All right, so once those get dry, I'm gonna sand them off. I'll show you guys how I do that. I'll do most of it off camera because that's an awful noise. But anyway, as soon as that's dry, I'll be right back. All right, everything's nice and dry. I'm taking one of my Dollar Tree nail files, and that's how we're gonna trim all this off. I got most of it done already. You know, like I said, nobody wants to hear that. But we're just gonna do this little part over here, and you're just gonna go on an angle. And you always want to pull down. You don't want to go in the direction of your napkin because you don't want to take the chance of peeling some of that up. So we're just going to go around these edges, and then these little zigzags here, you just go in and file them off the same way. They're more of a pain, but it works out really well. All right, and that's it. That's how you just get all your excess napkin off, and it's like makes a nice, perfect little straight edge, and that's how it looks all the way around. And I did the same thing to this one. This one was a little more challenging because you had so many different little angles to go into, but look how pretty that is. I love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so that one is going to be for my little packets of sugars. Or whatever you want to put in them. You could even use these little gifts, put little baggies of candy or something in here, give it to somebody. That'd be a cute little gift box too. So many things you can do with these little things. This one here, I'm actually going to put some little flowers and things in for what's coming up, Memorial Day. So I cut out some of this foam here. I took one of these round discs. That's just what I had handy. You could use the green ones, whatever. But these are much easier to cut. So I just cut down 2 pieces. I'm going to glue these together. And yeah, we're just going to set those right inside there to stick a few little greens and some flowers in. Not a lot. Just a little something. And I'll put a little bit down here on the bottom. And drop that, whoops, piece of paper, drop that right down on in there. Here. And there you have your little foam to add or whatever you want to add to it. I have a little bit, well, some of these things I think I'm just going to glue in because they're going to stick up too high if I try to do them. I have some of the boxwood, my favorite thing to do any kind of little DIYs with, but I think I'm going to have to probably just cut these down really short. Otherwise, 'cause I don't want them to block my little star there. And then I figured some of these cute little daisies, these are mini daisies I got from Dollar Tree. These are real pretty. And whoops, I just popped those right off of there. But like again, I'm probably gonna have to cut these down too because I'm not gonna be able to stick them in there then. Let's see, how far down in will they go? Well, yeah, they're gonna stick up too far. So, yeah, I gotta change my whole plan here. Well, let's see. Let's see how this is gonna work. I'm thinking, I can't get it out now, but I'm just gonna have to glue this right down onto my foam. Otherwise, they're just gonna stick up too high. Even with, if you put one down on the bottom, it's still, they're just gonna be a little bit too tall. So anyway, let's see. Let me just grab some of these little flowers here. We're just gonna cut these off with scissors. and glue them in here, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, because I just want to put some of those like back here in the corner. So we're just going to glue a couple of these down right to the foam. Put a couple in the corners. Then you can put some a little higher, I guess, on the inside here or outside, whatever. See, look how pretty these are so darn cute. Actually, you know what? Before you glue to there, it's still hot. All right, I'm gonna move that up just a little bit. Glue it right to the back. See, I always have something in my head and then I end up having to change my mind. And then we'll just put some of these greens down and around there when we get all the flowers that we want. But yeah, they're just gonna be too tall. Even if I didn't, let's see. Yeah, I probably could have got away with one. No, it still would have stuck up too high. See, here I go, changing my mind again. Sorry guys, but I do that. Alright, so let's see. I think I want one maybe right about there. I wish I had something that would fit down in there right that I could have glued it in with. But it's not. Actually, I'm going to put this one start in the back first. Get that one to stick up there nice. Stay. Alright, that's so pretty. I also have some of this, but I think these are going to be too tall too. See, I had it pictured in my head differently. I could cut these down too. These are what? They're calling gypso. And I thought these would be nice because they're blue. And I figured the little white flowers and some, I don't know, we'll see. Let's just keep going here. We'll see how this is going to work out. What I'm going to end up doing, I think, is having these just glued to the box here. Let's have a few on the outside there. That'll work. See? I'm just going to pop them off of there. That will work just fine. Well, when all else fails, you just gotta go with the flow here. We're just gonna glue them right to the box. Gonna put some of these down in here. I think they're gonna be way too tall to see. I just was not. I don't know, I guess I thought these were bigger than they were in my head. But we're going to make this work because we're just going to cut these down. And we can stick. I should have put that in the back first. Oh, that'll work. Alright, we're going to glue that right to the back there. Behind these little daisies. Okay, we got that one. We don't need too much of this because we're going to put some of the other stuff in there too. But I'll try to get this down as low as I can get them. Will that work over here? Yeah, sure, why not? I hate when my plans just, you know, when you have something in your head and it's just not working out. But there we go. We're going to make it work. Alright, so far so good. Alright, now I think I'm just going to put a little bit of greens in there. Not, well, actually, let's put these in first and then see what we want to do. How's that going to work down here? Nope, it's going to have to be shorter. Man, I don't care. It's going to work. We're going to make it work, whether it wants to work or not. I mean, you guys can probably cut them a little longer, maybe if you just put one piece of the foam in there. But we're going to make it work. Now that I got it glued in there, we're going to have to. Alright. Oh, don't glue to that. There we go. Two little guys right there. Nope, stay up. All right. Yeah, we got a couple of the little blue ones in. I think I'm going to put a couple more towards the back. I'm probably just going to end up gluing it to the bottom of the flower because that's just the way it's going here. Let's put a little blue one back here. That's cute. And then another one over on the other side. And I'm just gluing these to the back of the flower. Nobody will ever know, except all you guys. All right. Stay there. All right, now I'm just going to put one more piece of this down here. Just a little bitty piece of the boxwood. And call it a day here, guys. Now if I get all these webs out of here, that'll be lovely. But yeah, okay, just imagine it without all the glue webs. I will take a picture of these when we're all done here, and I'll blow off all these glue webs with my heat gun. But I think that's pretty cute. I'm happy with it. Didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to, but all in all, I love it. I just didn't want it to cover up the star. So, I got glue webs all over me. All right, so let me go get some of my little sugar packets, and I will clean these up and take a nice picture of these to put at the end. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this little project, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a great day, everyone.